Mr. Chair. And thank you so much to our governors. And I want to say I apologize. I apologize for the abuse that you are facing in this committee that is supposed to be about waste, fraud, and abuse. And I also apologize for wasting your time because this is nothing more than political theater. Now, again, this committee is supposed to be about waste, fraud, and abuse. We did not have to have this faux creation of Doge. The committee itself, that is our job. So, what I want to talk about is what something that the American people may want to know, which is
If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and stick around for more simple and dramatic retellings of big political and celebrity moments.
economically, how is this impacting them? These failed immigration policies that are only put on so that they can have a show because we have a reality show president who seemingly still believes that this is all about TV instead of real lives. So let me talk about something really quickly because I want to clarify something because I believe that all of you understand the importance of something like tourism. Are you aware, any of you, are you aware as to whether or not tourism in the United States is anticipated to decrease to the extent that we are estimated to lose $12.5 billion in international vendor spending in just the year 2025?
I can answer as the tourism capital of the country.
Good.
Tourism's already down. It is down in the North Country where the Canadians refuse to come over because of the hostility toward their country. It's happening in New York City. It's happening at our sporting venture, our theater. There's a ripple effect throughout our entire economy because of the change in attitude that our country, that once welcomed people from all over the world to visit and recreate and to live here, now feels like a very hostile place to them. It is going to have an economic impact on our bottom line without a doubt.
So let's talk about it a little bit more. So I am supposed to have a number of FIFA games in Dallas. And I am fully anticipating that we are going to have a problem because I've been receiving phone calls that people don't feel safe coming here. And it's not the immigrants.
You won't believe the heated exchange that happened in this meeting. It started off calm, but quickly turned into a serious reality check. Let's break it down step by step.
It's this government that is making them feel unsafe. But let me also do this because they love to cherry pick. They can find, any one person that has been killed. And if they've been killed by an immigrant, then God darn it, every single immigrant is going out and they are killers. And that is the problem. But they don't want to talk about white supremacy. I don't know how many hearings we going to have about the fact that there's been this one immigrant that killed this one person. And no, I'm not excusing any killings by them or white supremacists. But they haven't had these hearings. We didn't have a hearing on Buffalo and what happened there. We didn't have a hearing on El Paso and what happened there. We didn't have a hearing on Charleston and what happened there. So it's interesting that they pick and choose because it seems like they love to pal around with the white supremacists. And so they don't want to talk about certain other things. But economically, I want to make sure that we're making this point again because I know that Governor Pritzker, you were the beneficiary of a lot of things from the state of Texas. And a lot of people believe that Republicans are fiscally responsible, but instead they are actually fiscally irresponsible because what he spent was a whopping $221 million transporting people from Texas to your state. Something tells me that he could have done something else with that $221 million. In addition to that, I know that there's been some conversations about what's going on in LA, and they want to say that it's riots because they didn't want people to keep talking about, say, the Epstein files or whatever other drama was popping off between the president and his little friend. So they wanted to change the conversation to immigration because they feel like, well, the polling is in our benefit. But let me tell you something. If they cared about making sure we were going to be fiscally responsible, they would tell the American people that it cost them $134 million to send the National Guard to LA for the quote unquote riots that the governor didn't ask for, nor did the mayor of LA ask for. And they sent them over there and they say that they care about our service members, yet they sent them and they were laying on the floor. They did not provide for food. So I don't know why we would believe that, number one, they want to fix this. They don't want to fix this because the brokenness is a feature, not a flaw of the system, because it is beneficial to them when it comes to campaigning. If they can't stoke fear, then why are they going to say have anybody vote for them? Because that's what people are doing. They're voting out of fear. But Miss Perryman, we know each other a little well. And I know you got a law degree. And it seems like we all need law degrees in here nowadays to understand the Constitution. So really briefly, I just want to make this point. There is a certain person that was afforded, say, due process. But let's say if, say, Donald Trump had been charged with all of these cases that he got charged with in 4 different jurisdictions, if he wasn't afforded due process, there could have been a possibility that he just would have been locked up and thrown somewhere, right?
That would be a possibility.
And then maybe we wouldn't have a tariff war or anything else that we're dealing with or all the other nonsense. But the point is, he was afforded due process. And regardless of the political opposition, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, I thought, believe that due process should be afforded to everybody, even him.
Due process is for everyone.
Okay, so the Fifth Amendment doesn't say that it's just for the people that are Americans.
It does not.
It says anybody on our soil.
It's for everyone.
Okay, it's pretty simple. I don't know why we are.
Mr. Chair, thank you so much, and thank you to our governors. I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the bad treatment you're getting in this meeting, which is supposed to be about waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm also sorry for wasting your time, because this whole thing feels like a political show. This committee is supposed to deal with waste, fraud, and abuse. We didn't need to make up this fake Doge situation. That's already our job here. What I really want to talk about is something the American people might actually care about. How all of this is affecting them and their money. These broken immigration rules are only here to make a show, because we've got a president who acts like this is a TV reality show instead of real life. Now let me explain something quickly, because I think you all understand how important tourism is. Do you know that tourism in the U.S. is expected to go down so much that we might lose $12.5 billion in spending from international visitors in 2025? I can answer that. As someone from the tourism capital of the country, tourism is already dropping. It's down in the north where Canadians won't come visit because they feel our country is being rude to them. It's happening in New York City too, in sports, in theater, and it's affecting our whole economy. Our country used to welcome people from all over the world, but now it feels like we're pushing them away. That's going to hurt us financially, no doubt. So, let's keep talking about this. I'm supposed to have several FIFA games in Dallas, but I think we'll have problems because I've been getting calls from people saying they don't feel safe coming here. And it's not the immigrants making them feel unsafe. It's our own government. But let me say this, they love to pick and choose. If one person is killed and the killer happens to be an immigrant, then suddenly every immigrant is called dangerous. But they don't want to talk about white supremacy. How many hearings have we had about one immigrant killing someone? I'm not saying those killings are okay or that white supremacist violence is okay, but we didn't have hearings about the Buffalo shooting or the El Paso shooting or the Charleston shooting. It's strange how they pick what to talk about. It seems like they're friendly with white supremacists, so they avoid that topic. But back to money. I want to point this out again because I know Governor Pritzker, you got a lot of people sent from Texas to your state. Many people think Republicans are good with money, but really they're not, because Texas spent a huge $221 million sending those people to your state. He could have done something much better with that $221 million. Also, people have been talking about what happened in LA. They called it riots because they didn't want people focusing on things like the Epstein files or the drama between the president and his buddy. They wanted to switch the story to immigration because they thought it would help them in the polls. But if they really cared about money, they tell everyone that it cost $134 million to send the National Guard to LA for those so-called riots. The governor of California didn't ask for that, and neither did LA's mayor. They sent the troops anyway. And they say they care about our service members. But those soldiers were sleeping on the floor with no food. So I don't see how anyone could believe they actually want to fix things. They don't. The system being broken actually helps them, because they use it to scare people during elections. If they can't make people afraid, how else will they get votes? People are voting out of fear. But Miss Perryman, you and I know each other, and I know you have a law degree. And honestly, it feels like we all need law degrees these days just to understand the Constitution. So let me make this quick point. There's someone who got something called due process. Let's say if Donald Trump had been charged in 4 different places and didn't get due process, he could have been locked up right away. Maybe then we wouldn't have had a trade war or all this other chaos. But the thing is, he did get due process. And no matter what side you're on, Democrat, Republican, or Independent, we all should believe that everyone deserves due process, even him. Due process is for everyone. The Fifth Amendment doesn't say it's only for American citizens. It says it's for anyone on our land. It's simple. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand.